Hi there, it's another tarot sesh for Virgo. I'm the Cannastrologer. My name is Abby, and this is your June 2025 full moon reading. Welcome back to my channel for all of my returning subscribers and followers. If you guys have not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure that you do that right now, and I really do appreciate every single like and comment that's left on the channel as well. You guys really help the algorithm and just keep the energy going. So, Virgo. For my returning subscribers, you guys know that at the end of every year, I do a predictions reading for all the full moons of the upcoming year. Then we journal everything, and then throughout that next upcoming year, we go through it with the monthly moon readings. So we'll be reviewing what that information was at the end of this reading. So let's get into this. We're starting out with Spiritual AF, just to get a little bit of a spicy start. And letting you know, the reading so far for this round for June 2025 has been spicy. There's some interesting energies that are coming out. Okay. I like it, though. I like this message. So we've got manifest the fuck out of your dreams. I told you this was spicy. So the most vulnerable thing to admit is the most vulnerable thing to admit to is not your deepest wound. It's what you really, truly want. We're talking your biggest, crazy-ass-ist dreams and desires. Be vulnerable, at least with yourself. Write that shit down. Make a to-do list and maybe even tell someone. Make it happen. You can do this. So I'm getting, there's something that... there's a goal, a dream, a vision, something that has inspired someone, and Spirit is saying manifest it. And there's multiple ways of manifestation, but Spirit's saying write it down, meditate over it. You can do a candle spell, all kinds of rituals and things to manifest. But if it's something that you've dreamed about, if it's something that inspires you, then you need to do it. That's why you're being inspired by it. That's why you think of it. So, interesting. The song that was on pre-shuffle when I was getting the cards together, it's a song by Halsey. It's called You Should Be Sad. And I downloaded the message. Somebody has finally learned a lesson. Okay? Somebody has finally gotten the picture. They're realizing... there may be somebody in their life that they weren't, it was like red flag, red flag, red flag, but, somebody wasn't just getting it, right? But now they do. So, and that could be in relationship or romance. It can also be in, work or career. You could have been sticking up for a coworker, a boss, or something like that, and the red flags were right there in front of your face the entire time, but you wanted to believe a whole different scenario, right? Or this person did. And so I don't know what the dawning moment was, but it's like somebody had a coming to God or an awakening, or that light bulb went off and everything was right there. You could see it loud and clear was what I'm getting. So the song, some of the lyrics from the song, oh, I feel so sorry, I feel so sad, I tried to help you, it just made you mad. And I had no warning about who you are. Just glad I made it out without breaking down. Oh, I feel so sorry. I feel so sad. I tried to help you. It just made you mad. And I had no warning about who you are. And then it goes on to say, because you're not half the man you think that you are. And you can't fill the hole inside of you with money, drugs, and cars. I'm so glad I never ever had a baby with you, because you can't love nothing unless there's something in it for you. And then it goes on to say, I feel so sad, but you should be sad. So somebody has learned their lesson. Somebody may be also getting handed karma. It's the other person learned the lesson, to walk away from someone. The karma is that, this person is losing someone valuable in their life, or they're losing a valuable employee, or whatever. It could be anything. Someone is just glad to be gone. And I also feel like let's just get into this. Let's just get into this. It's very interesting energy. Like, I want to say that song is directed, like you, Virgo, singing that to another person, right? For some of you, that's someone singing the song to you. Who are you? Alright, regardless, manifest the fuck out of your dreams. What else do we have for Virgo, please? Action. Underneath the deck. So someone has taken action, or action needs to be took. It's all about movement, perseverance, discipline, and motivation. Someone could be dancing. There could be dancing going on. You know, it's just energetic. The movement, energy, you know, just dancing, the act of dancing, right? That creates magic because it's creating friction. It's creating energy. And that in itself is a way to manifest. Speaking of manifestation, it's movement, it's flow. It helps open up your chakras, especially your sacral. And then we've got number 35, creativity, imagination, expression, originality, and passion. So somebody could be a dancer. Somebody could be passionate about dancing, and maybe this is what you need to manifest. Others of you, it's all about expression and just originality and passion. You know, like putting, what is that? Creativity into motion, right? Which is an expression. Somebody could be 35 years old. 3 plus 5 is 8. 8s are about mastery. Somebody could be very good about like what they do, but it's about mastery. It's about walking away from one thing in order to walk towards, you know, what you desire. So like your passions, right? It's about fast moving action and messages coming through, but it's also about feeling stuck within yourself, knowing that you have the power to unstuck yourself as well, right? Unstick yourself. What do we have for Virgo? Okay, what do we have for Virgo? Higher peace, power, protection, prosperity for the greater good. Here's the other thing too, before your reading, I meant to get it out like an hour ago, but I got really drained all of a sudden. And I just had to like stop and go eat something, so I had enough energy to do this reading. So maybe somebody's been feeling really tired, really weak. Okay, seriously? I just heard one more. Okay. Okay, this is interesting. Temperance has been coming out a lot in many of the spreads, many of the readings for June 2025. So this is the energy underneath the deck. This is weird because usually with this card I always say that, you know, it's temperance. So that's the angel of the tarot deck. And typically this card means someone who is able to balance the 3D and the 5D, you know, and be able to go between them. But I don't think this is you. This is also, they call it the angel of the tarot deck, so angels and protection, right? I don't think this is you or your angels. Now, for some of you, I'm sure it can be, right? You take this as it resonates. Just take it as it resonates. What I'm saying is, though, I feel like this is an earth angel. Like a real person that's you've been dealing with. Someone that you've dealt with. But it's like an earth angel. Now, what's an earth angel? For those of you who don't know, these are the people that are put on this planet to test others. They are completely inconspicuous, hidden in plain sight. It's the person that you would least ever likely think that would ever be an angel of any sort, but they're put on this earth to test you. And if you don't pass the test, it's like the worst kind of karma. It's what keeps you from ascending, you know. And I know it sounds awful and terrible, and it is, because I mean basically it's like the story of Beauty and the Beast, right? The prince in the very beginning of the story, right? There was an old beggar woman that knocked on the door, and she was asking for money or food or something, and he shunned her away and told her, don't come back, you old beggar woman. Well, turns out she was a witch. And she turned him into the beast and cursed him. And it said, if he doesn't... That's my girlfriend's kid. I'm babysitting right now. But said that if you don't find true love by whatever age, by the last petal that falls off this magical rose, then you will die. And so then that begins the story of Beauty and the Beast with Belle and all of that. But she was an earth angel, the witch. Even though she's called a witch and everybody thought that she's a witch, she's actually an earth angel, right? And it's that type of story where you will be tested. It's like walking karma. Somebody who, if you treat them well, the karma that you receive is going to be great. But if you treat them poorly or that you work against them, that's the worst kind of karma ever. And that's what I was getting from that song, from You Should Be Sad. Because I feel like somebody, whether they did it to you or you did it to them, again, I'm just the messenger, but I feel like this is somebody's karma. My nose is itching, so I know that I'm right. I know that I'm right. But somebody is saying you should be sad because you messed with an earth angel. You screwed over an earth angel, or they screwed you over, and you could be an earth angel. And now they are about to get their karma. Let's get 3 cards. Past energy. Energy going into this reading for June 2025. 3 cards, okay. 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 So first card out, Hierophant, and it fell on its side. I'm going to take it upright, but I have hesitation there, and I'll explain why. Then we have the 4 of Wands, and then we have the 7 of Cups. Let's get current energy. What's current energy for Virgo, please? Higher peace, power, protection, prosperity. Okay. And what do we have coming in? One more. Gonna take it. So interesting. Oh, I get it. Okay, I get it. Oh, I see what it is, and it goes along with the song, so we know what it is. Okay, Virgo. In the past, we start out with the Hierophant. This is your boss, your CEO, your head of a corporate entity. This is somebody that is, they're the leader or the head of something. It could be the head of a church or whatever. This is also somebody who's more traditionally religious versus spiritual, okay? And they tend to do everything in a traditional sense of form, right? Very old school type of energy. Now, this card also can be talking about ascending, ascension. And I was just talking about, how some people may be ascending, but there's others that, did someone dirty, and so they'll be descending, right? And that's what, when this fell on its side, that's what I was saying. Like, when you've got, the Hierophant in reverse, this is somebody who's super corrupt. Super corrupt. They do everything for their own benefit, their own gain, and they're manipulative, they're dirty, they're mischievous. They'll do whatever needs to be done in order to get what they want. I'll just put it that way. Now, whether or not you're resonation to that Hierophant is upright or in reverse. It fell on its side, so you have to, determine that. But then we have the Four of Wands upright. So the Four of Wands upright could be talking about celebration. It could be talking about a coming together. It can also talk about house, home, stability, or foundation, like the four corners of an actual building or an apartment or even a business. So we could be talking about a business. We could be talking about real estate. We could be talking about a coming together, like a marriage or a partnership. But then with the Seven of Cups, this talks about having options, a lot of options. And with a lot of options comes illusions. Because, when you have a lot of options, it's hard to choose. What is it that you're going to choose? Everything, looks so tempting, right? But what you choose could actually be, a turd covered in glitter. But it's still a piece of shit, right? So in the past, what I saw was somebody was making choices. It could have had to do around house, home, celebration, coming together, some kind of lifestyle. And they were making choices. Did they make good choices? It's not really looking like it to me, and I'll tell you why. So we start out with the Knight of Wands. This is your current position. Leo, Aries, Sagittarius energy. This is your in and out. So wands are all about passion, and it could be passion towards a person, or it can be passion towards what you're passionate about. If it's towards a person, it could be platonic or romantic. If it's romantic, it's like you're in and out, one night stand, here for a fun time, not for a long time, friends with benefits type of energy. If it's more towards business, this is your actually towards business, this is a great card. This is somebody who's very lucky. They go out and they make a sale, they come back, put the star on the board, go back out, do it again, right? Very good at what they do, passionate about it. I feel like this is actually more towards a relationship here, and you'll see why in the end. But again, take it as it resonates. Some of you aren't in relationships. You're in a relationship with what you're passionate about, your work, career, whatever. Sorry. So then we've got the Three of Cups. Now, Cups is water energy. It's feelings and emotions. This does talk about celebration and partying and having something to celebrate. But for many readers, it can also talk about a third party where you're having good times together. Okay? And when it's sitting right next to the Knight of Wands, and I'm looking at potential player energy, confirmation, then it's clarified by the Two of Wands, which this is a card of somebody who's now reflecting back on maybe actions that they took in the past and using those lessons to make courageous steps towards the future. So either this is the energy of somebody reflecting on what was done in the past, or reflecting on what they did in the past or recent past. Okay? Because then what we have coming in is the Star. This is Aquarius energy. This could have been this could have been someone that you're dealing with in Aquarius, whether or not it was a third party. You could have been dealing with an Aquarius. You could have been dealing with a Libra, Gemini, or another Aquarius. If this is a third-party situation, I'm seeing Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. Maybe Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces too, but that's what I'm seeing so far. And so this was, okay, so the Star is somebody who's kind of in the spotlight, somebody... It's all about hope and healing, but it also just could be an Aquarius energy. Then we've got the Four of Swords. This is somebody, the Four of Swords energy is all about rest and relaxation, needing to take a mental break. Somebody may be needing to take a mental break or clarity, and they're in search of healing. They need healing, and that's why they're getting the self-care, the self-rest, because of a Lovers in reverse situation. So this is future energy, but what I'm seeing is that there were celebrations done in the past, right? People were partying, people were celebrating all the things that they did, but they may have made the wrong choice when they were making those celebrations and doing those things. Also, some of those people may have not been ascending. They could have been descending with the partying and the choices that they were making, especially if they were making choices, frivolous choices with third-party energy. I'm not saying that that's bad if it's all decided upon, but if another person in the party didn't know about it, then that would make it kind of toxic, right? And that's what creates a lover's reverse situation in the future. Now, if we're talking about work, this also could be a lover's reverse situation where maybe there's it's like somebody's getting healing hope or getting some rest around something, but it's not bringing the same kind of fulfillment that it once did. And to be honest with you, I see this more of, if it continues, if this relationship lasts, does it have the potential of staying together as a friendship? Absolutely. Absolutely. I just don't see the lovers situation anymore. Okay? Yeah. Don't hold your breath. Yeah, don't hold your breath. Now, for some of you, there could have been a child involved or a younger water sign, because underneath the deck, we've got a Page of Cups energy. This also they could have been a younger water sign, younger energy, somebody it's like all about, again, pages are all about, cups are all about emotions and feelings. Pages are messengers. Maybe they have a message of love or wanted to express love in some way or shape or form. But also, you could have found out about what was created. Clarification. You could have found out what was created from a third-party situation, which could have been like a child. Okay, so we're going to move on. If any of this resonates, make sure you drop a comment in the comments below. I love getting feedback to know that my vibe is on target with the tribe, He's so hype. I've got him watching SpongeBob in there. Okay, what else do we have for my Virgo? Underneath the deck, refine your attention. You've been focusing on the wrong things. You just have, or someone has. But refine your attention. It's like stay in your own lane. Focus on what you need to get your, head out of just the past, right? What you need to focus on is manifesting your dreams. Taking action by using creativity. Your creativity for something. So something that you're passionate about, okay? But refine your attention so that's what you're focusing on. And that's what's going to bring in this healing energy, right? And then let go and enjoy. This also talks about letting go of, any kind of relationships that are holding you back. Something that that is kind of stagnant or needs to be let go. Because then, by doing that, you make room for what's intended for you, for what's meant to come in, right? But it's not going to come in if there's no room for it, because you're holding on to third-party situations and things that don't make you happy, right? Okay, so that's where I'm going to leave the Tarot and Oracle portion of this. Now we're going to get into the predictions that I did at the end of 2024. The full moon for the month of June is on June 11th at 12:44 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. That's on a Wednesday here in the United States where I'm recording this. And it's the strawberry full moon in Sagittarius. So strawberries could be significant. I can't even talk right now. Significant for you this month. Also, maybe go eat some strawberries, or I don't know, like strawberry flavored something or whatever, to just honor the month, honor the moon. The first card that we pulled for this predictions reading was the Four of Swords. Didn't it? Yeah. You guys got that. It fell out. This card has been falling out in a lot of the readings too. So again, this is the energy of Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, but it's all about rest and relaxation. And just like mending your heart, and it could be over a heartbreak, finding out about a third-party situation or a pregnancy or something like that. But then the next card that we pulled was cultivating prosperity, and it's interesting because, Spirit is saying, manifest the F out of your dreams, focus on that kind of thing. Refine your attention and focus on your money and not whatever this emotional baggage or this work-related BS is, right? So then number 33, Flower Moon May, it's the card and it means blossoming. And the Flower Moon actually was in May, okay? So that was last month. So this is a situation I feel like that really could have started in May, whether this was May of this year or it could have been May of any year, okay? But it's like coming to fruition right now. It's blossoming, it's opening, it's showing its full petals, now. And then we've got number 12, rose, like a rose, and it means love. Obviously, roses are a symbol of love. We do have the Lovers, and it's in reverse. So, love is, I feel like it's a theme, definitely, of your reading. But, also when you're looking at this Four of Swords card, notice there's a little heart, and that's talking about, self-love, healing. And healing is another theme of this month. So, moving on, the next card is first quarter moon in Gemini. It's speaking your world into being. And that's all about manifesting the F out of your dreams. So speak it into existence. Tell people what it is that you want. Write it down. Say it out loud. Announce it to the world. Put it on your Facebook or social medias. Just be accountable. It's like be accountable for what it is that you say that you're going to do or want to do, right? And then we pulled from the Crystal Oracle cards the rhodochrosite. It's all about inner child. This is a rhodochrosite. It's like the bright pink part of the stone, because rhodochrosite also has other colors, right? But it's like the bright pink part, and it's all about your inner child. It's about healing your inner child from like childhood trauma, wounds, types like that, things like that. But also, it could be, somebody else's inner child that needs healing around you, okay? However, then the last but not least, I've been using Astro Dice, which are based upon the 3 main principles of astrology. Now, when I rolled these, the 3 positions that I got were Pluto, Cancer, and the 3rd house. You could have Pluto, Cancer, or, significant placements in the 3rd house. You could be dealing with somebody who does. But when you combine all of these 3 things, it's a unique blend of emotional insight and communicative power. And when used wisely, it's a force of healing and transformation. So that's what I was talking about with healing of your inner child. It's like if you communicate this efficiently and effectively, you're able, or you will be able to heal and transform, from this situation as you need. Like I said, for some of you, I feel like you have a real shot at, still remaining friends. But maybe not. Maybe it's healing to just let go and enjoy. Say peace out. Cut that string, because that's, the red string. They say that those are those soul ties with other people. And so it's like just cutting that string and letting go and enjoy. There's 2 strings here. If you look at this, she's got this string here, and then she's got this string. So we are talking maybe about soul connections, but there's something that just isn't connecting. So that's where I'm leaving you at, Virgo. Take it as it resonates. For some of you, this could be a great reading. It's like, clarification, answers, insight, right? For others of you, just, consider this useful information. Spirit wouldn't deliver these messages if it wasn't meant for you to see. For those of you that it resonates with, right? And energy always changes. It's based on free will. Everybody has free will to change their personal decisions and the things that they do for like I said earlier, like this was all stuff that was done in the past, so you can't necessarily change the past, right? You can only change yourself in the present and moving forward. But that's where I do see this healing taking place moving forward. So you guys, I hope you have a fantastic month of June, and if you are interested in a personal reading where we focus in on your personal funnel, right? Funnel down into your storyline. All of my connection and information on booking and all of that is in the description below the video. And also make sure to check out your Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Mars signs too for additional messages. If this is where we leave each other, I really hope that you guys enjoyed the reading. I look forward to reading for you again in the very near future. And I will see you guys on the flip side. We both will. Peace.